What's up, everybody, and welcome to this week's. Sorry, getting all. I got marbles in my mouth. Welcome to this week's USANA Athlete live stream. I'm your host, Jason Nacy. Today is our 17th live stream with a USANA athlete. So if you've been enjoying these videos, please let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And as always, don't forget to drop us a question. We'll get to as many as we can during the live stream. So, without any further ado, it's time to introduce today's guest. She's a 3-time South Korean national champion and Olympic ice dancer, Yura Min. What's up, Yura? How you doing?
Hi. How are you?
Good. Just living the dream.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been a long time since we've chatted. I mean, there was a while that we were hanging out, like once every handful of months, doing Zooms, all sorts of stuff, and it's kind of petered out in the last year.
I know. I was really excited for the convention in Korea. It was going to be so awesome. I was going to show you guys around and everything, but when that got canceled, that really broke my heart. And then after that, it's just been like a year and a half, I think, since we've all seen each other.
Yeah.
It's so sad. I miss all you guys.
So, we're talking about that. What has been your most memorable USANA experience? I'm putting you on the spot right now.
Okay. I think I think it was 2 years ago when we were all backstage and we were all waiting to get called out to get on stage, and like the whole arena was filled with people. And I'm like used to that usually, but
Yeah.
It was weird to go out there with no skates on and like not doing a performance, but just like walking out and being like, hi, and everyone's like, ah! It was awesome.
So I've got a funny story about that. I mean, you know, we've become good friends, and it's just like, yeah, we're friends. I don't really get that or see the other side where people where people go crazy, the famous Yura, if you will,
Yeah.
right? And I remember walking the streets of Salt Lake and just seeing a handful of people from South Korea. They just started flipping out, and I couldn't understand why. And they were like 2 or 3 blocks away, and they came running and wanted to get pictures with you, and that was pretty crazy. I mean, it was nuts. There was a handful of times where I was just like, this is crazy. Like, you are huge in Korea.
Yeah, that's funny. I mean, like, you were my professional bodyguard for the week and you did a great job. You should have gotten paid extra for that, because the way you were just like huddling me over. And during the run, I remember we ran like a different back street because everyone kept like trying to run with us and being like, ah.
Yeah. Well, we couldn't even run because everybody wanted to get a picture. They jump in front of us, and that was.
We're just running. I'm like, a selfie stick just like starts hovering over me. I'm like, hi.
Yeah, that's when I realized that this must be the feeling you get if you're like super famous or hanging out with somebody super famous. I mean, I was overwhelmed, and nobody even cared about me, and it was super overwhelming for me.
People were taking pictures of you. They thought you were an athlete.
Yeah.
They didn't even care. We were all just getting group pictures. You're like, yeah, hi.
I still get that all the time. I'll have people follow me on Instagram, and they'll be like, "Oh, hey, it's nice to meet a USANA athlete." And I'm like, no, I'm not an athlete. That's flattering, but you've obviously not seen me with my shirt off.
That's so funny.
Well, let's jump right into this. I mean, the theme about the theme that I picked for this live stream was staying focused under pressure. So let's dive right into that question. I mean, I remember watching you at the Olympics in Pyeongchang. Am I saying that right? Do we say that?
Pyeongchang.
Pyeongchang?
Yep.
Okay,
there you go. Got it.
I'm not okay. I'm not even gonna try. But I remember you had a wardrobe malfunction, and I mean that like made headline. That was the talk of the Olympics for a while. How did you continue on with your performance with that malfunction? That must have been crazy. You got the pressure of the Olympics, and then something went wrong. Like, was it right before or like right when you started? And then, yeah, I mean, what was going through your head?
I mean, man. So I've never had a wardrobe malfunction in my entire like 20 years of figure skating. This was the first one, and of course, it happened to be at the Olympics, which is unfortunate. But I remember like 10 seconds into the program, there was like a little breeze on my back. I was like, "Ooh, that's not familiar." And then I realized my hooks were just like flapping around, and I was like, "Well, this is nice." But when we were skating forward, it was fine because like it was in the back. But the second I turned backwards and the wind was blowing on my back, my top was just like flapping like forwards. And I remember just like I remember looking at my coaches and being like, I'm not sure if I should stop because if we stop during a program, you get a deduction, so
Yeah.
you get points taken off. So I didn't want to stop, but I also didn't want to like, like fully become unclothed in front of like millions of people. So I just tried my best to
Billions
like,
of people.
yeah, I just tried my best to just like keep my back as straight as I could so it didn't fall forward. But I was just laughing in my head, honestly, because I was like, man, what are the chances? Literally, what are the chances of this happening here right now in front of all these people? And I was just kind of like laughing in my head. I wasn't really panicking. It almost felt like a surreal experience. I was like,
Yeah.
it almost felt like I was watching myself do it. And I wasn't really in the moment of like, what should I do with my costume? So, and then the next thing I knew, like it was over and I was in my finishing position. I was like, oh, okay. So like, it could have been a lot worse, but it wasn't.
Could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. I remember my friend, I went to practice the next day, and my friend from Japan, she was like, it was crazy because our country won a medal in a different discipline, and on the news, all that came out was your story about your wardrobe malfunction, and we won an Olympic medal. And I was like, people love to see those types of things. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. That's all I remember seeing for a long time. And you do a Google search of Yura Min, and that's like the first 20 things that pop up is
Yeah,
is that story with
yeah.
different people writing it. So, have you ever had? Were the Olympics? Was there a lot of pressure on you at the Olympics?
I mean, to be honest, I know I should say like, there's a lot of pressure because I was in the home country and I really wanted
Yeah,
to make the country proud. Of course there was that, but
yeah.
at the same time, because it was in my home country, I was comfortable. Like it was the most comfortable competition I've ever had. Of course
Really?
there were stresses here and there, but at the same time, it was just like I was just so happy to be there and like be able to perform in front of my home crowd that it it was a surreal experience. And I don't remember like getting on the ice and feeling like I was jittery or anything. I just got out there and it felt like home and it was really comfortable and it was probably the best competition experience I've ever had.
So, have you ever had a competition or a moment in your career where you're like, okay, this is a make or break moment for me?
Yes, absolutely. So the way skating works, at the World Championships, you get your spot for the Olympics for your country.
Yeah.
And then if you don't make that, then there's a competition in Oberstdorf, Germany. And there they take 6 teams. So I was in Oberstdorf then, and after the short dance, I was in seventh place, and they take six. So I was like, if we do not perform tomorrow, then we are not going to make it. And and there was no way I wasn't going to make it. I was going to
Yeah.
go either one way or another. So I
Yeah.
was like, we have to do this. And then I remember performing. I stepped off the ice, and I was waiting for my score, and I've never like had the shakes as bad as that because waiting for your score is honestly the worst part. Because when you're performing, you do the best you can, but then with the score, you don't exactly know what's going to happen. You don't know like if you maybe made a small mistake that you got points taken off. You're
Yeah.
not sure. So the second like the score came out and we found out that we got fourth and we were going to go to the Olympics, I was like, oh my God, it was like the worst 10 seconds of waiting in my life.
So, what was that like with all that pressure going out on the ice? I mean, was your adrenaline flowing, or were you able to calm yourself down and just say, okay, let's do what we've always done? I I mean, walk me through that routine.
So after the short dance, we were in seventh. We had a day in between, and then we had the free dance. I remember the day in between. I was just so mean to my mom. I felt really bad. I don't know why. I was just so mean because I thought I wasn't gonna make it, and I was really nervous and like. But off the ice, of course, I was nervous. Like my back broke out. I had a bunch of back knee because I was stressed out. It was awful. And then once I stepped onto the ice for the free dance, like it kind of just like snapped and I was fine and my body knew what to do. So I was able to calm myself down like when I was on the ice, but off the ice I was actually like train wreck.
Maybe because you were jumping into an environment that you knew really well, so it kind of helped calm the nerves.
Yeah, yeah, I think so because I think because my body was so trained to do this, it knew exactly what to do once I stepped on the ice,
Yeah.
which was like a godsend.
Nice. So let's jump back to the Olympics. What was that like? I mean, you touched on it briefly, but what was that like when you were able to represent your home country, South Korea, in South Korea?
I mean, this is like a one in a million.
Yeah.
A lot of athletes compete at like 3 or 4 Olympics and never get the chance to compete in their home country. So I felt like really my moment. I was like, this is my time to shine because like I'm South Korean. I get to compete in South Korea and represent my country. And in history, we've only had one other ice dance team that's made it to the Olympics, and that was like 20 years ago. So it was an amazing experience for me, and I'm so glad I was able to go because if I didn't, that would have really sucked.
Well,
And
what's really crazy to me, so growing up, I remember thinking, and this is, I thought this way until, I started working with athletes a lot more. But I thought, oh man, those poor athletes that have to compete in their own country, it'd be so cool to go to another country and experience that, which is the complete opposite of what
yeah,
every athlete thinks, right?
absolutely, yeah, because there's not many chances you get to compete in your home country. I mean, internationally, I think I've only competed in South Korea twice, maybe. I go there every year to compete nationally, but to be there with like a bunch of other countries and stuff, I've only been there twice. So, or maybe twice or 3 times, and one of them was the Olympics,
Yeah.
which was awesome.
So
Yeah, but
performing in the Olympics in South Korea, did you get a little something extra from the audience? Were they a little louder for you? Did it get
oh my
crazy?
gosh. Yeah, it was insane. I remember we all do like a lineup in the middle of the ice and they represent like they say our names, what country. And it was like Germany, and then it was like America, and then it was Korea. Everyone was like, "Wah!" And I remember like the whole stadium was like shaking because everyone was screaming so loud. And man, the amount of power I felt from the screams of the people was awesome because
I bet.
yeah, I love just I mean this is what skating's about, you're performing for the
Yeah.
people. Like people pay a price to come and watch you perform. So it really hyped me up for the competition and I don't think I've ever skated like that well at the like as I did at the Olympics like ever in my life because I just got so much support from the audience.
Yeah. So was there ever a time in your career where you felt like quitting? Like it just got really hard, maybe, yeah, whatever the experience was. Did you ever come close to quitting? And if you did, why didn't you?
Yes, I'm sure a lot of athletes can I guess agree with me on this, but it's not even like once or twice, it was like multiple times because it was as a kid it was really hard to understand, but now I understand. As a kid, like I was away from my family all the time. It was like I would wake up in the morning at like 4 o'clock, get in the car, go training, go to school, go to ballet, go to taekwondo, have piano lessons, and then I'd go to bed at like 9 and do the same thing over again. So it was difficult for me when I was like 10 years old to understand why I was doing this and like what for. I used to always ask my mom, like, I don't understand why I'm skating. Like, what is this for? But if she didn't push me through that, then of course I wouldn't be here
Yeah.
today. So when I was a kid, I guess it's more like I didn't really know what was going on. But as an adult, it starts to get harder at a certain point. Like once I turned, I guess 18 to my age now, your body starts to wear down. You start getting tired, you wake up and everything just like hurts and you're achy and you're in a lot of pain. And traveling really takes a toll on you too. But every time I think about like the times when I almost quit, this isn't a sport where I can quit and that's it. And like I don't affect anybody else. I have a partner, and if I quit, then my partner is forced to quit, and I could never do that. So it's because it's like a team sport. I feel like we're every time my partner and I were in some kind of rut, we were always able to get each other out of it. Um, and I always knew that in the end it was going to be worth it, and it was. So I'm really glad that you know I didn't quit.
So what you're saying is having the end goal and always keeping that in focus. So, you know where you're headed, but also having that support system. Like that's super important. Somebody there who's also maybe going through the same stuff that you're going through, that helps you out. Because I think that it would probably be statistically not impossible, maybe improbable, that two people are going to feel down and out at the exact same time. So you always have somebody to lift you up. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it always comes in like patterns. It's weird. I've noticed it because I've been dancing for 10 years now and with like multiple partners, and I've always noticed that like you're never on a high and on a low at the same time. It's always like this. So like one person always has to uplift you and then the other one goes down. You're kind of just like doing the teeter-totter thing.
So I'm going to shift gears a little bit, and I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh, again? What?
Only because so many people are asking for this, right? Okay. Nobody's asking questions. They just want you to do one thing. So I'm going to ask this next question, and I'm going to have you, if you're comfortable, say it in Korean. You can answer in Korean.
Okay.
I know sometimes it's hard to do that, to do the shift. So, but yeah. Why do you trust USANA?
Oh, in Korean. Oh my God. Oh, okay. Why do I trust USANA? All right, give me a second. I gotta switch my Korean brain on right now. 제가 유산을 트러스트하는 이유가 제가 스케이트를 탈 때 에너지가 더 많아지고요. 그 다음에 프로틴 쉐이크나 뭐 비타민이나 스킨케어나 너무 탑 티어이기 때문에 항상 유산을 트러스트합니다.
Awesome.
Yay! Okay.
I didn't understand any of that, but I got it. I got the sense of it. So, yes. What's your favorite USANA product?
Okay, so there's a couple. So the new face oil is amazing. First of all, I have it on my face right now, as you can see.
I actually used it this morning as well.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I like the health packs because they're convenient and I can just like rip them and go and get to the rink. I love the vanilla Nutrimeal because I make my banana pancakes with those. Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, I love everything, of course, equally, but those are like three.
So funny you brought up the pancakes because that was the next thing I was going to talk about.
Oh my goodness.
I know, right? Your famous Nutrimeal pancakes. I love that post that you did. So is that a routine thing for you, or was that just a one-off for a post?
No. It was a routine thing for me because I don't know how I like discovered making those pancakes. It might have been on like TikTok with like probably someone made with like something else, but I started making it with a Nutrimeal and it was like really good. Like the chocolate one is good. I like the vanilla one is good. And it's just like 3 ingredients. So it's honestly like the easiest thing in the morning. You just mash up some bananas, throw in an egg, some of the protein powder, and you fry it and it's like 5 minutes and you're done. And then you can just eat your breakfast and leave. So it's really convenient and it's also like healthy. So,
Yeah. So for everybody watching this, go follow Yura. I put her Instagram handle next to her name and go search for it. It's a pretty cool post. There you go. Right there. You post some awesome stuff. I love it. But, and you're super fun and creative. I got to say, one of my most memorable experiences with you was when we did the excuse me, the Asia Pacific convention in Singapore, and just walking around town, hanging out with all the other athletes, meeting with a lot of the USANA family. It was so much fun, hanging out just in another country, experiencing a bunch of other stuff, new stuff together. So awesome.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was amazing. I remember you're every 5 minutes you're like, it's so hot. I was like, yes, we are in a tropical area.
I forgot about that. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, like it would, because they keep it so cold indoors. It's like every time we walked out, it was like hitting me in the face, and it would stifle me. I'd be like, because the air's so thick, it's so humid, it's so hot. I mean, I live in Utah. We're a high desert, so
it's true. Yeah,
it's super dry here. It's like being in a sauna, not a steam room, right? So it was completely different experience. And yes, I did bring that up probably every 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, do you have any big plans coming up? What give us something to look forward to. What's Yura doing next? What's your big project?
Well, we are currently off the ice, but in a couple of weeks we'll be back on the ice. We'll be back to training. I'll post like training videos, of course, and I will see you at the next competitions. We're gonna start competing in maybe August or September, so just like look out for us. Hopefully I don't have a wardrobe malfunction.
I was gonna say nice. That's awesome. So we're gonna wrap it up here, but I want to ask one last question. I really like to I like to do this before I end each of these live streams, and that is there one bit of advice, easy advice, that you can give people watching that you do every day, whether it's a meditation routine, stretching, breakfast, whatever it is there something that you do that's easy and quick that you do every day that kind of helps you stay focused, or whatever, that helps you?
Okay, so this is probably a little weird, but like I wake up in the morning, everything, do my breakfast, do my makeup and whatnot. And when I get into my car, my drive from my house to the rink is like 7 minutes. And there's this podcast that it's like 5 minutes of like meditation for you in the morning, or like powerful messages or something like that. And it's kind of just it sets the mood, like, you can do it, like today's the day. It's just kind of cheesy, but in the car, I'm always driving and I'm like, yeah, I can do it before I get to the rink. Yeah. So just like, I guess just taking 5 minutes of your day to just like, get yourself prepared for the day. And even on the days where you don't feel like you want to get up and stuff, just like listening to somebody else like tell you that you can do it sometimes does really help.
Yeah. Focusing on positivity. I mean,
absolutely.
I think that's an awesome message in today's climate. It's, it just seems a little crazy off balance right now. So any positivity we can throw out there is always well received. So Yura, you're amazing. I love talking to you. I miss you, and I can't wait to hang out again. I really appreciate you taking the time out today to hang out with the USANA family, to chat with us. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Bye.